So hello everyone. Today we are here with one more new topic in the series of discussing about variables and data measurement techniques in research. This is lecture number 2. So we'll be covering this topic and some more related topics in 8 lectures, and this is the second lecture of this series. So in the last lecture we talked about analytics or business analytics. Now in this lecture we'll talk about data measurement and scale of measurement. So as I mentioned in the previous slide also that we'll be covering different topics. So these are the details of those topics. So first was about analytics or business analytics. Now we'll cover data measurement and scale of measurement, and this would be followed by variables and types of analysis, measurement of central tendency, and types of measurement scale. So we'll be covering all these topics in upcoming lectures and other videos. Okay, so let's talk about data measurement and scale of measurement. So now I would like to share an image, and although this image is religious, but I am not. It's my disclaimer that images are used to represent the dilemma of a researcher, and there is no intention to discuss any religious preaching also. So just to relate a researcher with Lord Hanumanji, I'd just share this image. So the situation of a researcher is like this only. Like as a researcher, we carry a load of data. We carry a lot of data whenever we are conducting any research, or even as a businessman also, or in our daily life also. We have a lot of data available with us, but we are not sure how to use and how to analyze that data, what technique to be used uh, to find the solution of our problems utilizing that data. Now, why do we need measurement? Like, what is the requirement of measurement? Okay, so we need measurement because of some reasons. The reason is that if we are able to measure anything, then only we are able to find a solution to for our problem. So when we talk about statistics in the statistical techniques depends on how something is measurement. Okay, statistics is the application. It's like applied mathematics only, and in statistics, it is a technique depends upon how something is measured. We we can ask questions in different ways. For example, I could ask myself how many people were at least interested in statistics, but I could not really ask myself how many people were least, at least male. Okay, if I am asking that how many people are interested, at least how many students are people are interested in statistics, but I may not be able to ask how many people were among those, how many people were male. Okay, let's talk about some more pointers. How a variable is measured, how a variable is measured has a consequences on the operations that can be performed on them, on which statistical tools can be used. For example, we calculate we can calculate an average age, but not an average gender. Okay, for I just mentioned an example, age may be calculated, but if I want to calculate gender, is it possible to calculate gender? No, because it is categorical in nature. Whereas age could be quantified. Okay, it is quantitative variable. Now, Lord Kelvin, British scientist, has mentioned that when you can measure what you are speaking about and express it in numbers, you know something about it. But when you cannot express it in number, your knowledge is mere an unsatisfactory kind. So measurement is necessary, is very necessary. Now, while proceeding further about the data measurement, let me quickly discuss about some applications of measurement also. So, measurement is what? It is the assignment of numerals as per the rules. Okay, assignment of numerals as per the rule, or it is a process of quantifying or determining the size, length, quantity, or extent of something. So, measurement is a process of quantifying or determining the size, length, quantity, or extent of something. Okay, so there are various applications of measurement. We can apply it is like widely applied in astronomy also. Okay, to measure distance, size, mass, temperature, brightness, and the motion of the celestial bodies such as stars, planet, moons, asteroid, comets. So in astronomy it is widely used. Even in when we talk about physical science like chemistry, the measurement of composition properties and the reaction of matter such as atoms, molecules, elements, and compound, it is widely used. In physics also, for the measurement of fundamental forces and interaction of nature, gravity, electromagnetism, okay, nuclear and quantum. So in this area, the data measurement is largely applied. Even in the engineering also, like measurement of the performance, efficiency, reliability of machine, devices, and the systems such as bridge, car, planes, rocket, computers, everywhere. So we can see there are lot many applications. Even in the medical science also, when we talk about management of health, diagnosis and treatment of human, even animal treatment also, animal diseases also such as and diseases like, and there are some medical factors like blood pressure, temperature, pulse, glucose, drugs. So in there are so many areas. It has a like variety of applications. Even in our daily life also, if we talk about sports also, if we can easily apply data measurement of the speed, strength, endurance, and accuracy of the athletes, teams, and games such as time, distance, score, record. Now, everyone, most of the people watch cricket. Okay, so we can see when we are watching cricket on a TV channel and we see a live match, we can see a lot of analytics are mentioned on the screen. Okay, even the past performance of the player, okay, how the player is performing, and even the data is predicted also. Okay, so this is done with the help of the data measurement only, the data available to us. Okay, now if you talk about weight, time, temperature, okay, all these instruments, like why do we use them? Okay, so we use them to measure something, we measure some data. Now, as I mentioned, let me quickly summarize the measurement meaning of the measurement. So measurement means assigning number. We must have a rule also. Okay. So before assigning a number to any observation, we must formulate some rule. We don't measure objects. We measure some characteristics. Okay. So when we talk about measurement, we always measure some characteristics. The rule for assigning number should be standardized and applied uniformly. The rule must be applied uniformly for the entire data. This must not change over time or from object to object. Now, moving further, if we talk about more about the concept of data measurement, so it is about how to distinguish between object and properties. Okay, properties are measured. We can't measure the objects. Okay, when we talk about differentiating objects and properties, we can't measure the objects. We can measure the properties of the objects. Okay, while physical properties may be directly observed, psychological properties are always inferred. In management science, we deal with the psychological factors also. Okay, so psychological properties are always inferred. We inferred something on the basis of some information of the past data available to us. In order for a concept to have the quality of being measurable, it must first be made operational. Okay, so operational means an operational definition is meaning to the concept by specifying the activities or operations which are necessary, and in turn these can be measured. Now let's talk about an example. For example, a satisfied consumer will make at least 5 or multiple purchases of a product A from any specific shop, let us say X, over maybe 2-3 month or 2-3 month period of the time is the operational definition of customer satisfaction. So by this example, we are trying to define how do we define a satisfied customer. So we have taken an example like in this example, we are able to measure something. We are able to measure the satisfaction. We are able to quantify that satisfaction level. How? There are some parameters like number of purchases, as I mentioned in this example, 5 purchases. I mentioned about the product also. Okay, and I mentioned about the location or the shop also, the outlet also. And again, over a 3 month period, as mentioned in this example. So this is the duration. So we are trying to quantify. Okay, so important term, one more important term is construct validity. Okay, while measuring the data, we need to think about the talk about the construct also. Construct or the psychological construct is what? It is an attribute, proficiency, ability, or the skill of the human brain, and it is defined by established theory. Okay, for example, like overall English language proficiency is a construct. So construct is defined by some different small construct or small parameters. Okay, it exists in theory and has been observed to exist in practice also. Now, what's construct validity? Validity, it is the experimental demonstration that a test is measuring the construct it claims to be measuring. Now, let's talk about the example. For example, in a differential group study, the performance on the test are compared for two groups. Okay, let us say we are considering a differential group study and we are measuring the performance on the test, and we are comparing two different groups. Now one has the construct and a second that does not have the construct. Okay, if the group with the construct performs better than the group without the construct, it may provide evidence of the construct validity of the test. Okay, so if we formulate construct, so this will provide us a evidence and this will validate. All okay. So next is alternatively, in an intervention study wherein a group that is a weak in the construct is measured using the test, then taught the construct and measured again. Okay, if a significant difference is found between the pre-test and post-test, okay, it can support the construct validity of the test also. Now there could be different types of construct. There could be different types of validity. Validity maybe content validity, criterion related validity to related to any specific criteria, and construct validity. Okay, so these are the different facets of a single unified form of construct validity. So these are the different forms of the construct validity. Now, when we talk about the scale of measurement, we'll talk about different types of scale in detail in the other video also, other tutorial video. When we talk about the scale of measurement, largely there are four scales: nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio scale. Okay, so these four type of scale are used to measure the data. Now, data may be labeled. Okay, if it is labeled, then we can use all these four types of scale like nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. If data is in the meaningful order, okay, if it is arranged, then we can use ordinal, interval, or ratio. But if that data is not in the meaningful order, we can't no, then we can't use the nominal data. All right, measurable difference, okay, there has to be some measurable difference. So in case of this type of scale, ordinal, interval, or ratio. And true zero starting point. Okay, for example, in interval we have a idea, we have a variability scale, there is no specific weight to measure something. Okay, even in the ordinal ranking also we rank the data, and in nominal we identify that. But in case of ratio, we have a absolute term, we can measure something in absolute form that could be easily quantified. Now moving further, so if we talk about level of measurement, so level of measurement, like a scale, it is a scale of classification. Okay, scale of classification used for the collect and for collected and recorded data. So scale of classification used for collected and recorded data, and this helps in interpreting data values of variables. Okay, now there are some steps to develop data measurement or measuring instrument. How do we develop some process or some steps? Okay, so number one is must be able to define a concept. Okay, so definition of concept, this is followed by dimensions identification. So once we are clear with the concept, then we need to identify the dimensions, and then we need to generate the items also, how we are going to measure. Okay, for example, if you talk about a questionnaire, then the different set of questions asked in the questionnaire may be called as items. Okay, then this is followed by content validity. In the previous slides also we talk about the validity concept. So content validity assessment is done. The content whatever we have developed is valid or not. And this is followed by determine measurement scale. Okay, so we need to finalize at this stage, the fifth step, we need to decide about the type of measurement scale. And finally this is followed by data collection and scale purification. Okay, so data collection is the actual collection of the data, maybe primary, maybe secondary form, and then we need to purify or we need to make the correction in the scale that we have developed for the data measurement. Now there are some characteristics mentioned in the slide. You can take the screenshot also and you can go through this. Characteristics are like unidimensionality, linearity, validity, reliability, accuracy and precision, simplicity, and practicability. Okay. One more important concept is related to data is when we talk about the quality of data or data measurement, then we talk about goodness of the data also. So the goodness or the validity or the correctness of the data could be measured by two concepts: reliability and validity. Okay, so reliability and validity, again these topics could be covered in some other video also, but whenever we collect the data we always look for the reliability, which is the accuracy, and validity is the actuality or reality. It has to be reality, so we always check about two concepts: reliability and validity of the data. Now, as I mentioned in the previous slide, that we measure the there are four different levels of the measurement: nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio. And on the screen, characteristics are also mentioned and how we apply, how we use this. Okay. So we'll discuss about these level of measurement in other video also, but this is summarized here just to give you a clarity how data measurement is related to different level of measurement: nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio. Nominal, when we use, what are the characteristics? For example, we are not having any order, data is not in any order form, or we are having only distance or only the origin of something. Ordinal is used when we are having order, but not that we are not having any distance or any origin. When we talk about interval, both order and distance, it is applicable. These are the characteristics, but there is no origin. Okay. In case of ratio, it could be used when we are having order, distance, or origin. So these are the different characteristics and how we can apply this in descriptive statistics. Source of data, I had quickly summarized earlier also. Source of data may be primary, may be secondary. So data may be collected not only through the questionnaire method only. There are multiple methods. Even data may be collected through the observation also. Data may be collected through the readings of any machine or the equipment also. Now let's talk about a example. Uh, how does a doctor prescribe various tests to a patient? As a patient, sometimes we also visit to doctor, and whenever a patient is visiting doctor, how the doctor diagnosize, go for the diagnosis of the disease or the or think about the medical, or how does the doctor prescribe any medicine to the patient? Okay, as a patient, whenever we visit or any patient visit to a doctor, doctor try to get the information, past history of the patient, past information. On the basis of that past information, past medical history, or the experience of the patient, doctor analyzes the data and then further recommend suitable remedies or the medicine so that the corrective actions, corrective measures could be taken to recover from that disease. Now let me quickly give you a comparison of data analysis and data mining. Quite often we come across the term data mining. Now how this is different from data analysis? See, data analysis always start with the objective. We always have an objective, and then we look at the way you have measured the data. This gives a particular test or technique to be applied in that case. And what about data mining? In case of data mining, we have the data, explore it every possible way, in every possible way, to get some more insight or the result out of it. There is no objective, clear objective. So we in case of data mining, we try to explore everything, whatever data we have. Like we may be using trial and error method also. By applying any test, we get any results. Okay, but what about the reliability or validity? Okay, reliability and validity. So this is done in case of data analysis, not in case of data mining. Now on your screen, you can see some Bollywood star in the in Indian Bollywood industry. I had shared some male stars. Okay, so let's imagine, as a researcher, you are very much interested in studying these Bollywood star. Okay, I had mentioned some few examples, few faces of popular Bollywood star. You may be having different liking, but just for the tutorial purpose, I had mentioned some few images. Now I am sharing some more images of the Bollywood female actresses also. Okay, so I'm not talking about any gender specific uh, example. So I'm taking both the cases. So let's imagine you are very much interested in Bollywood actresses, to name a few. Okay, I am not to mention a few. I am not mentioning about any specific name of the actress, but just to share an example. So now, what you would like to study? See, when we talk about studying on these Bollywood actresses or the star, we may be interested in studying the gender, age, height, weight, marital status, or like stardom or star kid, or fat to fit, which is related to their fitness, hobbies, etc. So what is this? What exactly what we are trying to study? So this is some information, some data. Okay, now on the screen you can see there is a image. Okay, image was already shared. Now there is a table. What now this table is depicting? In the first column you can see there are some 10 10 rows. Okay, every row mention about each and every actress. Okay, this is just a symbolic in nature. I am just sharing an example, hypothetical example. Okay, so on the first column you can see name of the actress. Okay, second column there is a height, third is for weight, fourth is for age, fifth is for gender, sixth is for star kid, seven is marital status, eighth is fat to fit, and ninth is about their hobbies. So now there is a table. Now what is this depicting? This is depicting us some data or the information about this these actresses that we are trying to study. Now, how does this will give us a meaningful information? What is the conclusion? If we have prepared some table and collected some data, as I mentioned in the previous slide also, now you can see there are three parameters. So on the top row, you can see 9 parameters are there, like name of actors, height, weight, age, gender, star kid, marital status, fact to fit, hobbies. All these parameters are what? We define them as the variable. They are defining some characteristics. Okay. So these are the 9 variables mentioned on your screen in the first row. And there is a table. This table is about, this is known as data matrix. So data matrix involves variables, combination of variables and different cases. So in the very first column, you can see actress 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. So these are the different cases, also called number of observation. So this table is about a data matrix which includes variable and cases. Now, as I mentioned about the variable cases or the subjects, cases or the subjects or the variable is a broader term. Now, cases or subject may be individual. Okay, for example, if we talk about a team, a cricket team, a football team, or even if we talk about a institution, maybe bank, a school or a university, and even let's talk about some things also, maybe features of the car or feature of the any vehicle or any machine, feature of a computing device, laptop also. Even we can talk about disease also, maybe like uh, coronavirus also, or even dengue. And let's talk about country impact, for example, impact of coronavirus on different countries economy. And let's talk about one more example, animal, maybe like pet, dog, cat, etc. So I had just mentioned these different types of cases. So cases may be individual, it may be in the form of a team, institution, things, diseases, even a country also, okay, or even animal also, anything which is living or non-living thing. So these are the examples of cases or subject that we study in our research. So now on your screen, you can see there was a table mentioning about the different characteristics of the different actresses. Now again, one more screen image is there. There is a table also. So this is an assignment for you. And in the first column, I had mentioned 4 images of 4 actors, Bollywood actors of India. And in second column, you can see annual earning is mentioned. Third is having weight. Fourth column, marital status. Star kit is in fifth column. Sixth is qualification. Seventh is fact to fit. Eighth is hobby. So these are the different columns representing these different 4 cases. Now you need to uh, fill up the data that may be a hypothetical, and you need to categorize. You need to define like what meaningful conclusion we are getting out of this data table or the data matrix. So I think this lecture was useful to you, and we'll talk about some more interesting topic in next video. Thank you so much.